Jane Austen July. We couldn't let it go by without talking about one of our favorite authors here, right? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Home Comforts. My name is Beth, and I'm here in my book corner. And tonight, I thought we could talk about the books that I have on my shelf pertaining to Jane Austen. So, if you are here, let me know in the comments. I would love to say hello as I get everything situated here technology wise as I do. So, yes, let me know in the comments if you're here. I went through my shelves um, earlier today to try to find books that I had on Jane Austen. And I thought, because we can't let July go by without talking about her, right? We have to uh, talk about our favorite authors. So, all right, I'm just trying to get my stuff ready here. Let's see what we've got going on. Nope, that's not the button I wanted to push. Okay, usually stuff comes up here, but it's not. All right, well, bear with me. If you can see me, hear me, let me know. Like I said, I'd love to say hi, see who's here. Um, Okay, we're just going to start right in. Hopefully you can hear me. I can't see any comments anywhere, but we're just going to keep going and see what happens. So, Jane Austen July, I know a lot of people are talking about it. I said something not too long ago if we wanted to kind of delve into Jane Austen, and of course, the resounding answer was yes. So, what kind of tea are you drinking tonight? We'll start with the tea. I have iced tea this evening. It's a pink rose lemonade herbal tea. It's got some lemongrass and orange peel and chamomile and lavender in there. So cheers, everyone. Okay, I can see comments on Instagram. So I hope that's going well. I can't see any comments anywhere else, but we'll just keep going right along with it. All right. So the first one I thought we could talk about is this one here. So this isn't a reading book per se, but it's kind of an interactive, fun one. And this one that I have is Jane a Day, a 5-year journal with 365 witticisms by Jane Austen. So I think I've written a couple of things in here. This is one of those 5-year diaries where you get like a couple lines a day or like a one line a day kind of a thing. So like here's in January, and then they give you a quote. That one's from Pride and Prejudice, and this one from Persuasion. And then 5 years, you can just write in here what year it is. And then you like write one line a day. So it's a very laid back journal slash diary kind of situation. And then you can kind of look back year over year and see what you were doing the year before. So these are kind of fun. I have a different one that I did successfully complete 1 year of, but then I did not continue. I have a couple things written down in here, but just a couple. So I have this on my shelf, not only because it's beautiful, but because it's waiting for me for when I'm ready. So that was my first Jane Austen. Karen is drinking cinnamon apple tea tonight. That sounds delicious. Marina is here with green tea with strawberry. Oh, that sounds so good. I had a green tea with strawberry once, and it was really one of my favorite teas. And typically, I don't go for green tea, like that's not my first thing. But I put a green tea with strawberry in my first book box last year. Is that the one you're drinking, Marina? It's so good. If it's that one, oh my goodness, that one is lovely. I saved just a little bit of it because she's not making it anymore. So that tea maker stopped making it, but I still have mine. So I kind of have a little bit saved for a special occasion. So I'm not seeing any chat from anywhere else. So I hope it's not me. I hope you guys are just over on YouTube watching and not chatting because otherwise I'm missing out on the conversation. Okay, so the next one that I have here is Jane Austen's Little Advice Book. And this one has, I'll read you a little bit from the inside flap. In Jane Austen's little advice book, Jane's own quips and quotations mix with the fascinating facts of her biography and her era, completing a lighthearted and loving look at this most enduring writer. Readers can't fail to relish the actual language from this keen and inquisitive mind and the joyful rediscovery of her sparkling wit and vivid insight. Isn't that fun? So it has different topics, and then little quotations from not only from the novels, but also some from her letters, because they have, several of her letters that they still can refer back to. So um, some of the subheadings is saying on happiness and unhappiness, on the dismal ineffectiveness of whining. This is from the letters of Jane Austen, or on disagreeable tasks, on good times, on sufferings, on persistence. So, couple, oops, sorry, I'm jiggling this here. Couple little things from this one. So, this is just a cute little fun Jane book that I have on my shelf. And then this one I like because of how it looks. So this is Jane Austen Miscellany. Did I say that right? By Lesley Bolton. And this one has deckled edges. I don't know if you can see that, but ooh, sorry, the glare is a little much there. What is happening here? Oh my goodness. Something happened with the this lighting here. Okay, so I didn't, maybe because I put it way up too close, but I didn't, can you see the deckled edges on the side here? Aren't those fun? And then this one is similar to the Jane Austen one that I just showed you, the advice one, but this one is not only quotations from her, but also some little deep dive into other books that talk about Jane Austen or have been inspired by Jane Austen. They talk about movies like this one here. So we're gonna talk about this movie a little bit later. But right here it just says at the movies, and then it says Pride and Prejudice adaptation from 1940. Though the costumes are way off, more reflective of the U.S. Civil War era, they seem to work in this adaptation. Or maybe it's just that we've been awestruck by the dashing Laurence Olivier as Mr. Darcy and the beautiful and charming Greer Garson as Elizabeth Bennet. You see my over here? You know I'm going to pull that off the shelf later. But anyway, this one here has those just little snippets of other, people who are Jane Austen fans who want more. So, like this little section here, further reading for those who can't get enough. And it tells about a book called Vanity and Vexation by Kate Fenton, and it's a modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice. So this is just kind of a fun one. For Jane fans who want a little bit more. The other thing I really like about this is it's include the illustrations that are included are, it says in the front from the original illustrators, Charles Edmund Brock and his brother Henry Matthew Brock provided illustrations for many of the most popular books published on the cusp of the 20th century. Okay, so it's not the original, but it's old-fashioned ones. So C.E. Brock completed illustrations for Pride and Prejudice in 1895, Sense and Sensibility in 1906, and then various illustrations for Emma, Northanger Abbey, Mansfield Park, and Persuasion in 1907 and 1908. So they're the kind of like vintagey illustrations, and they're throughout the book. So like this one here. I'm afraid to get it too close because I don't want the lighting to go anymore. But they're just kind of fun illustrations, as well as the fun deckled edges and some further reading if you are a Jane fan. So how are we doing? Kelly's here. She says hello. Hello, Kelly. I'm trying to see. That's all I see there. So I'm glad you're here. So we are going to get to the shelf. Should we take a little break before we move on to the next pile? So that was my first little pile of Jane Austen's. But my shelf here, this is my Jane shelf. So I have, of course, the Penguin Classics editions right here. I don't want to, I'm afraid to move my computer. Were you guys here last week when I almost knocked down my candle? Oh my gosh, I got so nervous. So this week I have my candle on a coaster because I don't want it sliding around on the table. So but I'm afraid to lean over now. So hopefully I've got that all situated so that it's no longer slipping and sliding around. But these are the Penguin Classics set that my parents got for me for Christmas one year, which I was so thrilled to get. And then I have, I'll pull these down here. Separate editions of Persuasion. This is a Barnes and Noble edition that my daughter picked out for me. And then a couple books that my aunt brought to me from England. So Persuasion again, because it's my favorite and you can never have enough copies. And then Pride and Prejudice here. And then over here, on this side, I have a couple books that my sister got me. So this was my first Jane Austen compilation. This is kind of, I'm using it to hold up this edition. And then I am going to reach down this edition here. I got to push back my chair just a little bit. But for my birthday one year, my sister got me this lovely edition of Pride and Prejudice. If you have been here for any length of time, you probably know that I love this adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. Is it the best adaptation? Um, Perhaps not, but it is the one that is closest to my heart and the one I've seen the most amount of times. It's not, oh, sorry, this is a 1940, published in 1941. And so it has this over the dust jacket, like this, oh, what do they call it? Just a plastic covering because it was kind of fragile. So I'll show you this here. These are the edges right there on the Pride and Prejudice. Oh, Martha is here. Several of you were on YouTube. It's saying, am I just not seeing you? Is it Martha, is it not going on YouTube or are you chatting on YouTube and I can't see it? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I tried something new with YouTube today where I scheduled it ahead of time so that you could see it was coming. Um and now I don't know what happened. I thought it was all set up. Let me know in the comments on Instagram because I can see the Instagram comments. Maybe that's why I wasn't seeing any of the chat. I can see that people are watching. Sorry, guys. I can see that there are people on YouTube, but I see no chat whatsoever. I thought you guys were just watching and not. It's okay. Martha says it's going, but you can't see comments. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I can't see. I can see that you're here on YouTube, um, but I cannot see anybody writing anything in. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. I don't know right now why it's not doing that. I'm glad you can at least see me, but I don't know. Oh, you try something new and oh well, technology will get you every time, right? But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep right on going. So we were talking about this edition from 1941, I think it was, of Pride and Prejudice. I took off the dust jacket so that you could see the actual cover. But I'll show you the one of the insides of the title page here. Isn't that fun? And then an outtake from the movie. And this, I don't know why it doesn't show Greer Garson on this one. So this is the actress who played Miss Bingley, Caroline Bingley, then with Laurence Olivier. So I'm not sure why they chose that one. It's the only one that's in here, but I think it's kind of fun that there's some pictures from the movie in there, and then of course the regular Pride and Prejudice text. So I love that one, which is why I keep it propped up on my bookshelf for all to see. And then the other thing that I have on my bookshelf that's Jane Austen and fun is this postcard. How fun is this? Little tea and all the books, and then of course this home. Little accessories, Jane Austen era accessories. This postcard was made by Lucy in the Sky Creations. She's on Etsy, she's on Instagram. She has the loveliest illustrations. Highly recommend her account. Lucy in the Sky did that, and it's a postcard. But I keep it up here because I want some artwork for my shelves. So that is my Jane Austen shelf back here of all the books that Jane Austen wrote. So I had that first pile of if first pile of Jane books that from my shelf, and then that's my Jane like author shelf. And now I'm going to show you my Jane cookbook. So if you are just joining us, I see there's more people on YouTube. So if you are just joining us, for some reason I can't see comments on YouTube. I am so sorry about that. Hopefully you can see your comments to each other. I'm going to try to figure that out, but I'm glad you're here. Welcome. It's nice to see you. I can see there's a few more of you joining us right now. So, and then I can see you guys on Instagram as well. So, okay, now moving on to kind of cookbooks, sort of. We'll start with two that aren't exactly cookbooks, but still sort of. This one is Tea with Jane Austen, recipes inspired by her novels and letters by Pen Vogler. And isn't this just such a pretty book? I love this. It's just very slim, very fun. But these recipes are specifically more of like a tea time recipe. Um, so I guess it is a cookbook, but look how pretty this is. Isn't this pretty for a plum cake? And then they have um, like I mean, it's not handwritten, but they're trying to make it look sort of handwritten about plum cakes. A little excerpt from an 1806 cookbook that was called A New System of Domestic Cookery by Mrs. Rundell. And that's an excerpt from that. So these are just little recipes of the time that are more like, tea time recipes, cakes, tarts. There's a gooseberry tart in here, a Sally Lunn's butter buns, jumbles, Jane's sponge cake, gingerbread. So these are just kind of fun tea uh, tea recipes. And then this one here, also called Tea with Jane Austen, but a little bit different. This one is by Kim Wilson. Um, and this one has more of a broken down by time of day or when you would drink tea. So this one has breakfast, tea in the morning, and then kind of gives kind of like a background of what that might look like in Jane's time. So this is like um, breakfast with the Austens. So it gives you more of an idea of what kind of teapot she would have used, or what kind of actual tea she would have been drinking, um, and what kind of food they would be eating with the tea as they were eating breakfast. And so it kind of goes through breakfast. It goes through tea away from home, so like how Emma's Box Hill picnic, um, drinking tea in the evening, tea and health, tea and shopping. So kind of like what drinking tea at during Jane Austen's time would be. And then it does have some recipes right here as well. So that's two little Tea with Jane Austen books that Tea and Jane Austen. How can you go wrong with those two, right? Kelly saying gorgeous, and Martha saying we can all relate of the technology. Oh my goodness, I'll figure it out. Sometime I'll figure it out. So, but at least you can still see me. So that works. All right. And then I have two more cookbooks. This one, Dinner with Mr. Darcy. And this is recipes inspired by the novels and letters of Jane Austen. This is also by Pen Vogler. So these two, I don't know why it's being so shiny like that today. I wish you could see the color. This one is like a beautiful, like light pink. That's a little bit better. And this one is a light blue. And they're so pretty. Such pretty books. This book actually has almost like a cloth cover. It's like a cloth bound book. And it's beautiful. Martha is saying she'd love to visit the Twining store in London that Jane Austen went to. Me too, Martha. I have thought about that. I can't remember if it was one of these books or if it was a podcast that I was listening to, where they talked about how the Twining store was the store that she bought tea from. And so now every time I drink Twinings, I think this is the same tea that Jane Austen used to be drinking. So it's kind of a fun one, kind of fun to think about. So this Dinner with Mr. Darcy has pictures in it, which is beautiful. Breakfast with General Tilney, as one of the chapters. Jane's family favorites. There's a picnic parade that's based off of Emma. So it kind of takes each one of the books and gives you a meal uh, for that, for what they're specifically doing. So, like, for instance, this breakfast with General Tilney from Northanger Abbey gives you Bath buns, and it's got a picture. Don't they look delicious? They look really good. Um, and then it also does background information, meal times, and English muffins. So this is breakfast food, marmalade, and this one takes from Martha Lloyd's household book. So these are just kind of fun little whole meal time of what it would look like in Jane Austen's time. So that one is Dinner with Mr. Darcy. And then this last one here is Jane Austen's Table. Also recipes inspired by the works of Jane Austen. This is written by Robert Tuesley Anderson, and this one is just gorgeous to look at. I mean, okay, you guys, let me show you some of the pictures. They're just beautiful. There's some like little off the side. I don't know why this lighting is doing this to me tonight. Okay, here, this is better. There's some of these little illustrations. I love when there's little illustrations off to the side, but then there's like drawn illustrations and then pictures of the food. And here's Donwell Abbey's strawberry conserve. Um, it's just so beautiful to look at. I just stopped there. Did you hear me just like stop talking for a minute to kind of process how beautiful it is? But this one has so many pictures. This one is Lady Cathryn's caraway and raisin breakfast bread. Isn't this lovely? So anyway, and then this one kind of goes through, I'll go back to the table of contents. Um, this one goes through breakfast, picnics, dinner, sweet things, entertaining, and balls. You can kind of see that's how this one is broken up. So, and it gives you kind of an introduction, but this one is more straightforward. Um, I mean, it gives you some more information, but this is more straightforward cookbook. But it's just gorgeous to look at. Isn't that pretty? Oh, so pretty. I'll show you the back of it too. Good apple pies are a considerable part of our domestic happiness. Isn't that great? Oh, I love that one so much. So that one is so beautiful. All right, I have one last thing to show you. I'm going to while I'm taking a sip of tea, I'd love to hear which is your favorite Jane Austen novel. Or if you haven't read them or don't have a favorite, what you're most looking forward like which one you would most look forward to reading if you like. I'm going to take a sip of tea. I'm interested to see. Unfortunately, I can't see the comments in YouTube. I don't know why, but I think that you can still see each other's, but I can see comments on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, tell me. And if you're on YouTube, tell each other what is your favorite of the Jane Austen stories. And then I'm going to show you my one last Jane Austen thing that I'm excited to show you. It's not exactly a book, but it's still fun. So the last thing I have is this here. And these are Jane Austen playing cards. How cute is this? Isn't this fun? So on these ones here, not only I'll show you the cards first. How fun is this? This is the back of them. And then the front of them, so Jane Austen herself is on the Joker card, which I thought I thought that was funny. Two different variations of this one. So two Joker cards. And you know what else I have that I didn't pull out, but by this same illustrator who, let me tell you the name of the illustrator. Um, Barry Falls is the illustrator, and he also did a Jane Austen puzzle, which I didn't bring to show you. I should have, and I forgot to. But anyway, look at how fun these are. So these show like the king. So let me show you the kings and queens actually. So the queen here. No, no, no. That's not the one I want to show you. Hold on. Oh, they're all mixed up. I don't have them in order. But here's the king. Here's one of the kings, which is Mr. Woodhouse from Emma. And here's one of the queens, which is Lady Cathryn from Pride and Prejudice. And then all of the let's see here. I'm trying to find here's Elizabeth Bennet, who is the Queen of Hearts. So they put her up pretty close to the top there, right? And then Mr. Darcy has to be the King of Hearts, which these are not in order, you guys, because we must have played with them. So if I can find the King of Hearts, I'll show them to you. But each one of these um, kind of has their own, like here's Marianne Dashwood. She's the Three of Hearts. And here's Frank Churchill from Emma. And each card has his own. Oh, here's Captain Wentworth, the Nine of Hearts. So each character has their own card, which is just so fun when you're playing cards. And then it comes with this little book that tells you, so I guess it does kind of have a book, but it tells you not only the guide to characters, but it tells you how to play some of the card games that were in the Regency era. So Regency card games, can you guys see that? And it tells about casino. It tells about commerce, and these are things that you hear if you read books that are set back then. Loo, 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 and then speculation. And my favorite, the one, I mean, I've never played it, but my favorite name is whist. This is always the one they're talking about. They're going to play a game of whist. So it tells you exactly how to play. And then you can use your Jane Austen cards to play whist. So this is just such a fun little set. And I was like, I have to show you guys, even though it's technically not on my bookshelves, but it has a little book in there and it's Jane Austen related. So I just had to show you those little playing cards. I thought that was so fun. So let's see. Persuasion. There's a couple votes for Persuasion. That's my favorite too. Persuasion is my favorite. Um, Karen says Pride and Prejudice, very closely followed by Persuasion. Do I remember where I bought the cards? I do. It was at a local bookshop that I found these cards. I don't know. I can look for them online. I will look for them online and link them if I can find them. But I found them at a local bookshop that I was just browsing at, and I couldn't pass them up because they were just so cute and so lovely. So I will look for the link for you, Martha, and I will post that. So um, yes, okay. I felt like there was one other thing. Oh, there was. There's one other thing I want to say. So I don't have anything to show you, but I wanted to make some recommendations. So if you're really into Jane Austen July or you love Jane Austen and you want to do more, you may already know these, but I wanted to tell you a couple other accounts that I am loving for these things. So Amy at Living Well Read on Instagram, she has a whole Jane Austen July post, and she has a whole Jane Austen summer kind of going. And so I totally recommend looking at her account to get some inspiration for your Jane Austen summertime reading. She's been doing that for a number of years. So that one's kind of inspiring to do. So that's Living Well Read on Instagram. And then another one I wanted to direct you to is Heather at Water Bear Reads. This is on YouTube. She has a Jane Austen July video, like specifically related to that, and it was gorgeous. She showed some gorgeous books. She had some gorgeous footage, and it was just such a delightful video. So again, that's Water Bear Reads. And I think the video just went up in the last couple weeks, and that's Heather there. So highly recommend that video for your Jane Austen July enjoyment. And then lastly, if you haven't listened to this podcast, the Jane Austen's house in Chawton, Hampshire, which is where Jane Austen lives, is putting on a year-long podcast, one a month, where it kind of goes through a celebration of the seasons of Jane Austen's writings, and they talk about what kind of things might have been going on in Jane Austen's time. They read snippets of Jane Austen's letters and books. It is a delight. Highly, highly recommend. I'm listening to it on Spotify. This one is called A Jane Austen Year. I'm sure you can find it on other podcast apps as well. I just happen to listen to mine on Spotify. But Highly recommend that one. It's once a month, so there's, if you haven't listened to them yet, you can totally catch up to it, because there's only been, 6 or 7 at this point. So, but they're just so lovely. So, so lovely. And I had to make those recommendations because I was like, if we're talking about Jane Austen July and you wanna learn more, those 3 are places that you can look at. So, Martha is saying, "Wonderful podcast and book." I forgot about the book. That's right, Martha. They did a book too, and I haven't seen it, but it sounds delightful. I don't have it. I kind of wish I did. But the podcast is what I've been listening to. So, all right. Well, this is the part where I ask what we're reading now and we can share. I am so sorry that my comments aren't working. I'm going to try to figure that out for next week. But in the meantime, if you want to share on Instagram, I can see it. If you are on YouTube and you want to share with each other, if you guys can see each other in the comments, please feel free to share with each other. I'm sorry I won't be able to see, but hopefully I'll be able to get that fixed for next week. So, but if you'd like to share with me on Instagram what you're reading now, I will share with you what I'm reading now. And right now, I am reading A Blunt Instrument by Georgette Heyer. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that this year I am reading through all of Georgette Heyer's detective novels, one a month. And for July, this is the one that I had slotted for this month. So I am currently I just started that one because I have a couple other books on the go as well, but this is the one that's coming up next for me. I just got started on it, so this is a fun one. Georgette Heyer always writes such fun books, and I'm looking forward to that. So Martha said she just finished the Braiding Collection by Patricia Wentworth. That's a Miss Silver book, isn't it? Is it right? Patricia Wentworth is definitely Miss Silver's author, but I believe that the Braiding Collection was a Miss Silver book as well. I love Miss Silver. I recommend Miss Silver to everybody. She's just so wonderful. I actually she featured Patricia. Oh, it's your first Miss Silver mystery. Yay! I featured Miss Silver in a different in my fall box last year. I can recommend Miss Silver all the time, but the fall box one I had, Miss Silver Comes to Stay, which is just such a lovely one. In fact, I have a couple extra copies in my small home comfort shop. So if you ever want some book mail with Miss Silver Comes to Stay in it, I have that listed in my shop, which you can find right there at smallhomecomforts.com. So anyway, all right, book friends. I think that is it. If you missed my announcement last week, my summer book box did sell out, but make sure you get on the wait list for the fall box. The fall box will be opening with new slots in September. So if you're on the wait list, you will be the first to hear. You can get on the wait list at smallhomecomforts.com. And in the meantime, we're always here Thursday night having a little bookish chat about what we're reading or some other themed thing for the evening. So, all right. Well, it has been a pleasure having you tonight. As always, it's so lovely to see you here. I will work on that technology to see why I can't see the chat on YouTube. Hopefully, I'll get that fixed by next week. But I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for stopping by tonight and spending some time with me. And I will look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good evening, everyone.